Land's End, Scotland.
This isn't our job, by the way. Ordinary police shouldn't even be handling this mental stuff. Some Norwegian lad trying to smuggle in a wee bit of dope is one thing, but this boat hails from Muir Island, boys. I'm not getting paid enough to handle runaway mutants.
He's a 19-year-old boy, man. He's been sick since he was 13, and we've got our instructions. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, for God's sake.
Radio Dr. McTaggart at the hospital, and tell her the crew he attacked are dead lads. There's no sign of her boy anywhere.
I'm in here, you clown! Although God knows how much longer this stupid old body is going to last me.
Sergeant, over here. One of them's still alive.
God almighty, he's jumped inside the professor. Fold back and shield your eyes, boys. Remember what the doctor told us. Now come on, David. Let's be sensible about this young man. We both know you're not gonna last 24 hours away from your mother's hospital, so let's not make this any more difficult than it has to be, eh?
Well, that's still about 24 hours more than you and your pals, fat man.
What? Sarge! Not anymore, you wee chubby. 10 to 1 I can hit that beach without getting my feet wet. Result. Now let's have a look and see what they're paying big fat policemen these days, eh? Oh, you dancing bear. Burger King, here I come.
London, 2 days earlier.
Read the professor's little book yet, Storm?
Are you nuts? I saw the chapter on a mutant alternative to boom and bust economics and went straight back to Cosmo and People magazine, girlfriend.
Well, Cosmo didn't get the Xmen out of school in New York for an 8-week promotional tour, Miss Monroe. And People magazine certainly never took us to London. Do you know I've wanted to go shopping in Carnaby Street since I first saw Austin Powers?
Me, I prefer the more touristy stuff myself, Marble Girl, Buckingham Palace, Madame Tussauds, laughing at a country where 60 million people talk like Mary Poppins.
Oh no! London's the coolest city in the world, Storm. This is where all the clothes, all the movies, and all the music I've ever loved come from, you Philistine.
And you figure all this romantic ambience is going to get big bad Wolverine interested in you again, little genie?
Not even close to funny, Aurora. Besides, who cares about Wolverine when Cyclops is this close to plucking up the nerve? I've told you 1,000,000 times, I'm glad that creep's been blanking me lately.
And each time's less convincing than the last, superhero.
Listen, you can't exactly talk about love triangles when your boyfriend's teeny pal Iceman hides your press clippings in the bathroom, little Miss Sorted.
Honey, 10 years from now, that Westchester School is gonna be brimming with younger, skinnier mutants, and you and I are gonna be 20-something and ugly. Let's just enjoy the attention while we're the only girls on the team, baby.
Whoa! Crazy lady with a gun and a migraine at 2 o'clock, Storm. I believe we've just found our target.
Soho.
Mom, I'm an X-Man, for God's sake. Just because it's Sunday doesn't mean I'm coming home for dinner.
Well, just because you're an X-Man doesn't mean you're an orphan all of a sudden either, Bobby Drake. We told Professor Xavier we didn't mind him training you to control this Iceman problem, but we didn't sign a permission slip for any round-the-world trips.
Come on, Mom, it's only England, France, Spain, Italy, and possibly Australia. I know I should have told you before, but how dangerous is a New Age lecture tour gonna be? Have you any idea how much of an idiot you're making me look in front of my friends?
Just hand it over for a little sweet talking from the master, Ice Boy. Mrs. Drake, this is Wolverine here, ma'am. Your son's on a school trip to England at the moment, sweetheart, but I just wanted to assure you that Colossus and I are taking excellent... yes, ma'am. Colossus is the big, good-looking guy who used to be an arms dealer for the Russian Mafia. And yes, I have been known to kill people with my adamantium claws, but they really weren't the kind of guys decent folks like you were liable to miss anyway. Uh-huh. 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 Well, that didn't exactly go as smoothly as planned.
Thanks a lot, Wolverine. I'm dead, you know that? Forget Magneto and the Brotherhood of Mutants. My mom's our ultimate nemesis now.
By the time you get back home, she'll be giving you an update on Sunset Beach again, kid. Besides, what are you doing leaving your cell phone on in the middle of a narcotics sting, bub? You trying to blow our cover here or what? Intercepting those Miami boys was the biggest stroke of luck we've had in months, and I ain't about to throw away our first real shot at upstaging Cyclops and Beast. That's 3 assignments in a row they've wiped the floor with us, and I ain't looking stupid for a 4th time. Right, Colossus? Right. Now look sharp, and leave the talking to the professional, gentlemen. We're now entering the world of covert operations, where Wolverine reigns supreme.
Good God, do these sorry Americans know the meaning of inconspicuous?
Leicester Square.
What about that woman over there?
Not tragic enough, Cyclops. If you and I are going to the trouble of saving someone's life here, I want to find a truly hopeless case and really make a difference.
Okay, what about the guy in the combat trousers and the Tommy Hilfiger shirt? He looks about 10 minutes away from his first suicide attempt.
Are you serious? I don't want to spend the next 2 days of my life trying to reinvent some brain-dead label chaser who needs a pair of pants to define him. The guy's like a walking billboard.
Okay, Beast, you decide. You seem to have a special knack of finding us the projects with a guaranteed A+ attached anyway, big man.
To tell you the truth, Mr. Summers, tonight's little project has already found us.
The Ritz.
Well, class, that's your 48-hour deadline expired. Should we take a look at the morning papers and see how your exploits were reported in the national press?
Storm and I took down a terrorist cell based in Tottenham Court Road, Professor Xavier. Britain's biggest selling paper, pages 1, 2, and 3.
Me and the guys busted an international drugs ring stretching from Miami to Romania, Professor. Britain's 2nd biggest paper, pages 3, 4, and 5.
Cyclops and I made short work of an ugly gang of muggers, sir. I never actually made the papers, but I did manage the Times crossword in something close to record time.
Is that it? Are you really going up against us with a story about how you beat up some muggers? Boys, you might have been sitting pretty at the top of the class 3 times in a row, but something tells me my associate and I have just stolen your bright and sparkly crown.
Not necessarily, Storm. Ordinarily, yes, your position in the morning paper is an excellent indication of your actual grade, but I'm afraid today boasts exceptional circumstances. Scott Summers and Henry McCoy come first yet again, my friends. The rest of you will have your papers returned telepathically.
What? Not that I actually care about the grade or anything. But since when does kicking a few punks around beat busting a multi-million-dollar heroin operation?
Since you maimed, killed, or disfigured over 20 human beings in a blaze of adamantium fury, Wolverine. The exercise was to go out there and save lives, not act like Charles Bronson's Canadian cousin.
So what did Henry and Scott do that was so amazing? Spend 2 days teaching those muggers the error of their ways and finding them all sweet little jobs?
Well, except for the 2 guys we checked into rehab, of course. But the professor's contacts in the intelligence services promised them a post the minute they get out.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Tell me this isn't what the new term's all about, Professor? Because I didn't drop out of regular school to become a freaking social worker, man.
And I didn't form this school to train an army of thugs, Iceman. How can I tour the world asking for change when my students are clinging to the politics of the ape man? I don't like prisons, I don't like capital punishment, and I don't like mutants dropping car-sized hailstones on unsuspecting Irishmen.
Those Irishmen were planning to blow up a shopping mall in central London, Professor.
And they also happen to be members of a species we're trying very hard to ingratiate ourselves with, Storm. Gaining the trust of Homo sapiens is integral to our agenda, my X-Men. Phase 3 was designed to promote pacifist alternatives to traditional human problems. Don't give them any new excuses to hate us yet.
Professor Xavier, on behalf of the audience, I'd just like to thank you for that inspirational lecture and open the floor up to the thousands of believers in the audience, sir. Is there anyone out there who'd like to ask the leader of the X-Men a question?
Hi, Professor. I was just curious how these X-Men operations are funded, sir. Is it true you use your psychic powers to manipulate stocks and shares?
No, the cars, the planes, and my secret New York school are all paid for out of my inheritance, young man. It's true, I play the stock market, but I'd never use my powers for anything as tawdry as personal financial gain.
Did you really mean it when you said you don't have to be a mutant to be an X-Man?
Of course. The ideas outlined in the book are a manifesto for man and mutant kind to live in harmony. An intelligent person doesn't have to be X-Factor positive to put on a uniform and head out there to make a difference in their neighborhood.
What about this rumor that there's a second school you've started, Professor Xavier? An island off the coast of Europe even your pupils don't know about? Is it true what they say on the internet about a school where you're training less socially acceptable mutants?
I'm afraid I'm not in the habit of responding to internet speculation, miss. Next question, please.
Professor Xavier, do the scenes which greeted you and your students outside the hall tonight ever make you resentful of the human race?
Professor? I'm sorry, Professor. Should he repeat the question?
No, that won't be necessary. I teach my students the importance of turning the other cheek, but one can never get used to hate, young man. Next question, please.
He's what?
Gone. According to reception, Colossus checked out at 3 a.m. and took a cab to the airport with an unknown male and female. You don't think he might have, gone over to the other side or anything, do you?
Not a chance, Jeannie. Believe me, I know his good from bad, and Peter Rasputin ain't the type to do the dirty on his pals.
I don't like the way you were looking at me when you said that, Wolverine.
What do you think, Professor? Colossus had been unusually quiet these last couple of weeks. Do you think he just walked out on the team, or is this something more nefarious? Professor?
Could you excuse me for a moment, please?
Muir Island, Scotland.
The Scramblers are on, Moira. What's the problem?
What's the problem? God almighty, where do I start? The hospital's been trashed. My staff are half dead, and Agents Braddock and Thomas from the British division of S.H.I.E.L.D. have just placed me under house arrest until you get here, Charlie. What are we going to do? He could be anywhere by now.
What are you talking about, Moira? Is this about David?
Of course it's about David. Who else would I be talking about, you bloody idiot? Our son's escaped, Charles.